How many movies do you have on your 2023 list so far? By the way?
So far my 2023 list, let's look at it real quick. I have uh 50 films.
That's actually lower than I expected.
So I've been watching a lot of older stuff.
That's
Um,
fair.
yeah, and I started the year off doing a bunch of those cheap movies, and I did a couple videos on those
Right.
really cheap movies, and I can't do that. That was yeah. I found a few diamonds in the rough, and I was like, I think we'll leave it at there. So yeah, I haven't really been watching movies, at least new movies, the way I have in the past. So
That's fair. Yeah, I found one that I had started. I've gotten like two movies that I watched that were truly horrid. The rest were just bad. Um,
well, I mean, like my the lowest movies on my list are. Let me look real quick just to confirm. Yes, there are two movies that I actually did videos on. So it's that Bezos is in very last place, and then Alien Invasion is number two. So those were truly like just like nothing redeemable about
yeah,
either one of those films. Yeah.
I've only got 16. My lowest one is Unlocked. It's a Korean film. I think it's still on Netflix. Um, Basically about this guy who steals this girl's phone off of the bus or something, and he basically just is like a complete jackass, like putting rude stuff on social media and basically trying to ruin her life. Um, it was very dull, and then they tried to make the very last of it just like kind of gritty, and they did it in just the most Deus Ex Machina BS kind of way. They like just all those things are like, oh, you didn't know all this. It's like, how would I have known any of this? You told me nothing throughout the whole movie. Um, there's like all these connections that just magically appear. Um, the other, the other one's reality. It's about the girl who,
Oh, I had that in that was on HBO Max. I'd put that out there. I thought about checking that out. I hadn't yet though.
it's just boring.
Oh, okay.
Like there's nothing particularly like all the dialogue is somewhat bland. The acting's not great. They do a pretty good job of not like making it super political or anything, which could easily be done with this. It's just boring,
Yeah.
and they try to make it really artsy, and this is just not. They don't actually set it up to be artsy, but they just try to like do it like when they're in editing, I guess. It's just crap. It's it was just a waste of I don't know, probably an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see that in a lot of modern movies, and I think A24 has ruined that where there's too many movies that are just kind of bland character studies, and they try to do weird, pointless things in editing to make them look artsy.
right.
And so there's a lot of like a lot of like film Twitter goes crazy over those because ooh, look at this weird photography and oh they shot something blurry on purpose. Like no, that's not that doesn't make the movie good. No. Stop it.
Well, at least if you're gonna do that, make the movie in general where it kind of follows that and it at least feels appropriate.
Right,
This
exactly.
this is just a
Well,
girl in
I
it,
mean think about you were never really here. I
yeah,
mean, it does that, but it's all very purposeful and it's very motivated
exactly.
and that works in that movie. It makes complete sense. But yeah,
Yeah, I forget her name, but she did just a
Lynn
phenomenal job.
Ramsey.
That's right. Yeah, it was something hard to say. She did a phenomenal job with it because she actually had a purpose with what she was doing.
Yeah. So what's your top five movies of the year so far that you've watched?
Right now, number one is well, here I'll go to number five. Number five is The Sound of Freedom.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed it. It had a lot of like everyone. There was a lot of five stars and a lot of one stars.
Yeah.
All the five stars were people who were very right wing, trying to make it this right wing phenomenon.
Yeah.
And
Where when we go all or whatever that saying
yeah, that kind
is.
of thing. And then all the one stars were people calling it like a QAnon film, and I had very little
Yeah.
background going into it. and I watched it. I think I wrote like a small review. I think it had maybe one reference to some kind of senator that I think was just made up for the movie, and two very vague references to God, like not to Christ and that, like just a generalized God thing. It's like in the way that you might just say God for some reason. Like there was nothing religious about it at all.
You're just using it to reference a higher power.
Essentially, yeah, that's all it
Yeah.
was. And then people were like, "This isn't problematic." I was like, "Well, no, sex trafficking is an issue." And then people were saying, "Oh, everyone who's mad at this film, they're all just perverts." I'm like, "No, they just don't like you." And the film itself is fairly well done. Some of the it got slow at times. There's a couple of plot points that were probably Hollywood that didn't make any sense. Like every bad guy in the movie just goes along with whatever the main guy says pretty quickly. But overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I saw too many, and it was from both sides. So I saw a lot of people, like right wing, like I guess there were TikToks or it was on Twitter, just videos of like people coming out of the theater talking about how the air conditioning wasn't working or the sound didn't work right, and how it was obviously a conspiracy against the message of this film. And I'm like, you just haven't been to a theater in a long time. That's just what a theater going experience is these days. And then you saw the other half, which was, oh, this is just a QAnon picture, and that really irritated me because that was coming from like film Twitter, and I'm like, I would expect you guys to understand how film is made and to understand the history of this film, and it was made before the Warner Brothers Fox merger. Like, it's not like a brand new film that was just, it was made before all like this QAnon stuff got popular. It wasn't trying to be political. It was just trying to tell a story.
I
So
think it was filming before Trump even won.
I don't know about that. It was definitely filmed before Trump lost. It was definitely filmed before COVID and all of that. It was, I mean, it was filmed like 4 or 5 years ago.
It had
But
been
I
waiting
don't.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was shelved by Warner Brothers when they bought Fox. It was one of those movies, and I think they just saw, hey, this is a low budget thing. Let's throw it out there, and maybe it'll get some traction. I think they probably hoped it would get some traction with right wing audiences, which it did, and it made I mean, more than it's, I mean, it became a profitable film. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's intelligent marketing on their side.
It's
So,
intelligent marketing. Movie was good. It's definitely worth watching. I mean, and the actual message. I mean, I'm fine with saying that we need to fight uh, sex trafficking. Like that's
mm.
completely uncontroversial for me.
See, I think that Taken was obviously a QAnon film, and so that's where my stance
Oh,
is. Yeah, yeah.
and you need to really watch it closely. You can't just kind of sit back and turn your brain off. Really, really listen to what Harrison Ford is saying
Liam
during
Neeson.
or Liam Neeson, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're all one, and they will all go there. 4 for me was Nefarious. I don't know if you've heard of this one at all.
No.
It basically it's about this guy. The main actor or one of the two main actors in it was the one of the brothers in Boondock Saints. So, and I know you hate that movie for
Yeah,
its passion.
without even watching it. Yes, I hate it. Yeah.
But he actually did a great job in it. It's basically about this psychiatrist. He comes to the prison, um, and there's a convicted killer there who's about to get put to death unless the psychiatrist says no, he's insane. It turns out the prisoner is actually possessed by a demon, um, and basically it's the demon trying to convince him, trying to mess with the psychiatrist that he's real. Um, the psychiatrist isn't like early on isn't having that, of course. And then he plays games. He at one point he kind of lets the actual person come out, and he's really scared and just terrified. Um, Honestly, this was one of the few movies I've seen where I was actually getting like visibly nervous. I was like, damn, this is really like. And there's no there's no like terrifying imagery. It's really mostly just a conversation in one room. Like 90% of the film is just this one conversation between them. I really enjoyed it. I hated
That sounds like there was a movie last year, and I can't remember if it was Dahmer or Bundy or what serial killer it was about, but it was just about this one guy's conversations. I think it was the FBI guy's conversation with the serial killer.
mhm.
And I think like was it Elijah Wood was in it or something? I can't remember who all was in it. Maybe he was just a producer on it. But it sounds like that, where that was more based on real audio tapes or something like that. That was really good. And that also sounds like Exorcist 3. So you should check out because that's a fantastic movie. Oh, and you've frozen up. Crap.
The other three for me are Luther. Love that. John Wick 4.
Okay.
Uh, just as good as the rest. And Oppenheimer. That one I think was
Oh,
just incredible.
I still haven't seen that one. I need to go see that one. So
It's one of the few times lately that I've thought it was worth going to the theater.
yeah, that and Mission Impossible. I wanted to go see in the theater, but I haven't had a chance yet. So
Is that already out?
what, the new Mission Impossible? Yeah,
Yeah.
it came out before
Oh,
Oppenheimer because
did it really?
they were mad because it got kicked from a lot of IMAX screens because of Oppenheimer. So
I'd see that one in the theater. So that'd be good. Yeah. But what about you?
so my number five is so it's an episode of Black Mirror, but it's 80 minutes long, so I'm counting it as a film. It's
That's
called
fine.
Beyond the Sea. Has Aaron Paul and um, what's his name? Josh Hartnett and Kate Mara is in it, and they're astronauts way off in space somewhere doing a space experiment, and they have kind of these body doubles on Earth, and it's set in like this futuristic version of the 60s or 70s. Um, really, really interesting. It's Black Mirror, so if you've watched anything Black Mirror related, you kind of understand. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna get dark and twisted. But it was just really up my alley. Really, really enjoyed that. My number four was Infinity Pool. This is the new one by Brandon Cronenberg. So very, very divisive film, very graphic, extremely graphic film. Not for everyone. Very weird film, but yeah, I really liked his dad. I really enjoy what he's doing. Number three is actually Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Um, I think I think James Gunn has done an amazing job kind of completing that trilogy there. Really, really excellent job.
That's one Megan and I still wanted to see.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the rest of them, I think it's a really good completion to the trilogy. It's
I
really
have,
good
and
stuff. It's a lot of fun.
I love them both. Like one and two are great, so I'm glad that this one's good too.
Yeah. And then number two is Asteroid City. No, that was the latest Wes Anderson film. So that one's really good. That one's a lot of fun. And then number one, I mean, it's just John Wick. That was just such a good time at the movies. And I haven't seen Oppenheimer or Mission Impossible yet, so I don't. There's only two out that I think might be able to beat it. I really want to go see Voyage, the last voyage of the Demeter or whatever that's called. I think that one might actually.
Mm.
That seems like it's right up my alley, a gory vampire film. So, but yeah.
I'm fine. I would be fine with John Wick being above Oppenheimer. That was just perfect supposed end to the series. We'll see that. I feel like
Yeah.
I've heard that there's more films though.
Well,
Um,
they're doing a series on I think on Peacock about the um what's his name? Who's the guy that runs the
oh,
Continental?
I
Because
didn't see you talking about.
it's called the Continental, I think is what it's called, and it's about kind of the origins of that place, or at least his how he started. So
So Keanu will probably have like maybe a couple cameos or something.
no, because it looks like it's when he's a young guy. So I would assume like it's Keanu would be like a baby when the
True.
story is taking place. So
True. They could
yeah,
maybe do it where they can make up something where they like find these guys early on. They just kind of know who's going to be the next killer or something. I don't know.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
fans are going to be upset if there's not at least one Keanu Reeves reference. But I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, yeah. Well,
I have a
yeah.
very low bar for what I expect from fans.
I have a very I have a very low bar what I expect from Hollywood studios. So yeah,
There you go. And they're both just button heads, so it's fair.
yeah. Um, okay. So that was our top for the year so far, mid year. So we're going to cut it here, and then we'll start our actual episode.